didn't know her own strength. That's what Whitney Houston was talking about. When we go through things, we go through tragedies, we go through experiences, we don't realize our own strength to make it through those things, because we talk about things and people always say, well, if this happened to you, you'd be like, I'd die. It would kill me. Or they say, well, I don't know how you did it. And the thing is, we all find our own strength at various times in our life. That's just something that we have to do. It is implemented in our lives for us to survive, and that's what we have to do. Sometimes, though, we survive when we just become alive, but we're not living to our fullest. We need to learn how to thrive through that. We got to get through it. And I'm not talking about past it, not over it, not forget it. That's where we get it wrong, and a lot of people have this misconception of being a widow is it's just a loss, and we all lose something. Everybody takes loss in a different way, because yes, everybody does. And so saying that about knowing your own strength, one of the things, the misconceptions is a lot of us feel like we have to give our opinion about everything.
Wow, that's a good one now.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna let you start off, because I know we've just went to a homegoing celebration. And I like to say homegoing celebration because it is a celebration of life of an individual. It's not a time when you're at a homegoing celebration when you are breaking down. That is sometime in your private moments. You go back through those memories, you jog back through, and you have it with discussions of people who knew them as you knew them. It's when you have it, because usually, and you go through those breakdowns in the open, people don't understand. You know, back in the old time, the country people say the person who's screaming the loudest and crying the most is the person who did the person the most wrong. You know, usually in church, we have all these things and labels we like to carry on people, so we try to, keep ourselves together, keep this certain kind of decorum when we are out in front of other people. So here it comes, when you lost your spouse, before me, so makes people not confused. We are married. But when you lost your spouse, and I mean, we talk about this openly, so it's not like when we get here, I do get to be a little more investigator for y'all. But one thing I know for me was people all had an opinion. People had a way that you should feel. People had a way that you should grieve. People told you not to go to work. People told you not to do this, do that. But everything works differently for everybody. So if you had somebody and you knew somebody that had lost a spouse, what do you think is the best thing a person can do? Not if you've walked in their shoes, but what is the best thing a person can do? And for me, the first thing is not to say how they feel, because nobody ever knows that. But what is the best thing that can be done for people to do for someone like that?
Well, my opinion is, and very touching one too, my opinion, because, let me say it like this, I'm going to go around the mulberry bush for a minute.
He liked the mulberry bush.
A lot of people is feeling real emotional about the situation. Oh,
Talk loud.
A lot of people feel emotional just like the individual that lost their spouse. And they figure they'd be doing them a great deed by just sitting talking to them and telling them they understand what they're going through and anything I can do to help, and I'm here for you. But and that's good, and that's good in some ways and not good in some ways, because a lot of time that best way to help a person that in grieving moments is to sit beside them, just be there, just be there and just support them in spiritual manner, because like my wife's got to saying, we cannot imagine what they go through. We cannot say to them that we understand, because we really don't, because like my wife said, everybody takes this in a different manner. So my best approach and my way of saying it, to my opinion, is the best. Go to that person and just sit there. Just sit there and hold hands, or just sit there and just look at them. Just sit there. Don't be trying to give out opinions or advice or something, because that person is already grieving real bad. And just it just, I'm going to put it in this category, just like your wife or the husband having a real bad day at work or had a bad day, period. And if your wife come home or her husband come home and you sit down and talk to your husband or vice versa, and the first thing your husband say, baby, but why this? Baby, what? Why this? You could. She don't want to hear that, or he don't want to hear that. She wanna simply. She wants you to sit, and just hold her hand, just sit and just hold her tight. And the same way with the man, and so in the same way with grieving matter. That's what they need. That's my opinion. That's what they need. That's the best way to get them because they already hurt. They don't need to keep
hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah, silence is golden. Silence is golden. A lot of times people think silence is being rude, but if you're present when the person wants to speak or the person needs your opinion, a lot of times we just need the presence of knowing that somebody's there when we're ready to talk to, or when we're ready to get that opinion. Because I know a lot of times people always want to talk to you. People always want to remind you. People always want to put their feelings and beliefs on you. And what we have to be careful of is also as family members, because a lot of times you lost your spouse, but then you got kids who've lost their father or their mother, so then they have an opinion about it. Then, or you got grown kids, you know, and it's there. So whether it's young kids or grown kids, everybody. But then you got other relatives, you know, if they got sisters, they got brothers, aunties, cousins. Everybody got an opinion on how you should be grieving or what you need to do to get over it. The biggest thing you don't need to do is shut yourself alone. Shut yourself out. Shut everybody off. Now, there is a period that you need to have some introspection in order to grow, because you need some peace and quiet so you're not taking on everybody's opinion. But the thing is, you don't want to get to a place that you find yourself in a dark place, that you don't see the light and you can't find the comfort that we're talking about. It doesn't become a place of mourning. You become in a place of depression. You become in a place that you just balling up and saying you're ready to die. And that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about having that person that's there. They don't have to be in your face all the time. They don't have to be in your ear all the time. They just need to be available when you're ready to have a voice. So that kind of helps us jump into what else I wanted to talk about after that, being opinionated. So y'all, we got a lot of opinionated people out there. And the thing is, stick to what it is that you need to do for you. Learn yourself. Like I said, that's that first L in live. Learn what that new me is going to look like. Don't let nobody take you back to when you first got married 20, 30 years ago and tell you how you're supposed to be acting, because that was 20, 30 years ago. This is how you discover your new self. For some people, they never want to be married again. For some people, they are going to get married again. So you need to discover your new self, because you cannot find somebody new and try to make them that old person.
And it's another thing that's very important is your companion died, but y'all had a silent relationship. Y'all had a venture relationship. And she's outgoing, and you was outgoing, and she kept you upbeat, and you kept her upbeat, and you want to give, and you want to keep your wife or your husband in memories. Keep her happy or him happy, even though she's going to heaven, he going to heaven. Keep doing the things that y'all did while I was alive. And it may sound silly. Say, what do you mean? I mean, because your wife or your husband always kept you upbeat all the time. And the thing that she or he don't want you to do is go into a depression mode. That's not the way y'all live your life, you know. And that's the way I see it. You both, like I was talking to the individual this morning. You know, you have to continue. It's hard, but you have to continue your same pattern, because they are in heaven, but they're still watching you. It's just like this.
They were at least watching you here.
Right.
Here.
So you want to keep that motivation going on, your memories going. Keep it positive. Keep it because everybody gonna be in your ears. You got a lot of stuff going on. And you got a house full of individuals. Everybody coming out the storm, bringing you this and bringing you that and bringing this. That's all well and good at that present moment. But there's a time when all that gonna stop. Then you're gonna be in that house all by yourself. Now, and that's when everything starts coming down. So what I'm saying is, find something to keep you motivated. With the memories of your wife or your husband, or your mother, your father, or vice versa, but whatever y'all guys did together while she or he was alive, and you're spiritually and emotionally, you still continue to do that.
Use those memories to honor, not to hinder and hold you back. That's wonderful. So now that jumps us into that respecting the grieving timeline. the timeline is different for everybody. You know, first of all, because there are some people that have been married for a very, very, very long time and they lose their spouse at an older age and they've expected it because they expected it to old age. And it still hurts the same way. But then you have younger people who lose their spouses and they haven't been married for 4 or 5 years. They hadn't even had a child yet. They have nothing, what they say, that seed planted to carry on. Because, you know, if you have a child, if you have a longer time together, that doesn't make it easier. Now, I'm not saying that by any means. A lot of times that makes it a lot harder. But the thing is, people feel that if you weren't together for a long time, they're going to try to tell you need to grieve faster. It has nothing to do with it because nobody knows how deeply intertwined you were and what plans that you had made, what expectations you made, how suddenly it was, because people are dying in various different ways. But the thing is, what you have to remember, you're not alone. Adjust your timeline to you. Don't allow anybody to rush you. If you want to put the status of widow on your life for the rest of your life, that's a choice. You never have to jump and put yourself to say I'm single. You can keep it your status to say widow and nobody can make you go from single. As long as you need to go through that process, do it. Don't allow anybody to rush you and tell you when you need to date. Don't allow anybody to tell you when you can't date. Don't allow anybody to force you into their timeline. This is what you have to do. And the key is listening to who you're becoming. And the key is don't force yourself into it. A lot of people jump into the relationship trying to replace another person. And that is something I told you I was going to tell you all a little about us. One thing is we're not trying to replace I'm not trying to replace his wife. He wasn't trying to replace my husband that passed away. We weren't trying to replace the spouses that we lost. We weren't trying to become them. What we did is became who we needed to be for us to work together so we can become a new we. So we're not the old we. So people will see us and probably say, oh, well, when you were with so-and-so, you used to do this. Or when you was with so-and-so, okay, we new people. That's right, we new people, because people say, oh, you changed, you did. Okay, well, we are a new we now. So the thing is that's what has happened. Yes, we've changed to become a we've meshed, we've intertwined. So those processes happen when there is a change. So that's the reality of what change brings. Go ahead, because I see you reared back, got a thought in your mind.
I'm trying to word it right, when you lose your loved one, that's really a strong point for you. That makes you stronger. Because what I mean to make you strong, you can sit back and say and realize what kind of quality time we had together, what fun we had together, and on top of that too, what downtime we had together, the unfortunate. Then you can take that and blend that into one and make your life a lot more stronger.
You're strong.
Yeah, because if just say for the individuals that needs to be in another relationship for their safety, because for their mental thing, it's because some people.
Well, let's say men last longer with a wife, so y'all can live a little bit longer.
Yeah, but at the same time too, like you made a statement, when he gets involved with another lady, he'll know how to go down that same pattern, but with stronger mentality, thinking
with greater
wisdom, how to treat her, how to be treated, because there's some issues that y'all guys had together. So I don't want to repeat them because I'm talking about me now. Because when I met this young lady here, I said to myself, I told her, I said, there's some changes that got to be made. There's some changes because man got this kind of funny feeling. I'm not changing. I'm me. Sorry, brother. Back up. Slow your roll. But I had to change because I couldn't bring my past relationship, what I feel about my wife before she passed, to my new blessed wife. I couldn't do that. So the relationship they had and that she left me with, that made me a lot more stronger because there was stuff that we went through, some good, some bad. And I said, well, this is education for me. So I'm gonna revamp myself. Cleanse everything out. Then I'm gonna start all over again. And then some people say you had changed. Yes, I had changed.
But that was like in the beginning when we talk about that me flipping inside out. You turn inside out, you dump all that stuff out to become a we. You just, it's a constant flipping and a turning, and it's a growing process to go from a me to a we, but then have to flip it back again. So you will understand that it is a process that we're talking about. You have to go through, but I want everybody to understand, and I hope you're getting something out of this. I hope you all communicate with us, because we want this to be an ongoing process where we can talk back and forth and dialogue about some of the issues. We're going to have some people come in and talk about a whole lot of different things that you go through, losses financially, losses mentally that you go through. So we want to talk about some of those things so we can empower the left behind. That's my key, empowering us to live to our fullest. And you brought that song back up, didn't know my own strength, and you learn your strength when you go back and look at some of the things, like you said, the good and the bad that you've been through, and you like, I made it through that. I made it through that. I thought that part of the relationship was going to really break me. I wasn't going to be able to make it through, but you made it through. Like you said, you made it through 32 years. Now, 32 years, and I know everybody wants to say, oh, it was just wonderful. So on his 32, on my 20, so I know we're telling our age a little bit, but it is all good. But the thing is, when you talk about that timeline of togetherness, you think that you cannot marinate and blend with someone else. But it is. It is when you allow yourself to find your own individual strength.
Yeah, that's very important. Find your
Own individual strength.
That's the main focus point right there.
Yeah.
That's
and not have to find somebody as a mate to be a crutch because you don't like being alone, you don't like the quiet, because what will end up happening is you'll get in a bad relationship.
How to say this? How to keep your self-esteem up?
Yeah.
Because
people will abuse you in that situation.
There you go. That's the word I'm trying to say, because because you get around a lot of folks got all these questions and all this buts and this and that. Hear me when I say this. You kind of balance yourself out, to weed yourself away from them people, because they are weakening you. Okay, yeah, it's so sweet. They care about me. Kind of digest what they're really saying. Okay, open your ears, open your mind up. As my buddy Joe Madison said, think with a third ear and a third eye. Just look at everything that they be saying to you and digest, because.
Did he just get somebody else props on my show?
What can I say?
It's
but
all
it's
good.
called keeping it real.
I don't keep it real.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, don't be in depression all the time. You may not think about being depressed. You are in depression because somebody keep talking to you all the time about your situation. You still going a little more. Nah, keep smiling, keep your chin up, and keep moving strong. What did my wife don't want me to be that way. My husband don't want me to be that way. My father don't want me to be that way. My mom don't want me to be that way. Shake it off and get going. It's hard. Understand that? It's God. But the most person that bring you out of this hole that you're in
is yourself.
Yourself.
Yep. You got to make a choice, and that's what we're talking about. Making a choice. So everybody that wants to get on this bandwagon with us and choose to live, you definitely meet us here on every last Tuesday. But you can always connect with us at the Relationship Service Station to hear about the Widow's Voice on Facebook. We're going to be having a lot of things going on where you can join us in private groups to talk about different things. And it's all going to be free. So we want to talk.
Free.
Yeah, so. But our song that we have coming up is Sooner or Later. And that's the thing about grieving. Sooner or later, we find ourselves in a place that we find ourselves replanted, rerooted, and growing again. Sooner or later. That is Leandria Johnson. We got some great music playing tonight, so I hope you all share, tag at these artists, and go and listen and grab this music. So we are getting ready to play Sooner or Later.
This thing is gonna be the death of me.